The World's Most Wanted Fugitive is a list published by the FBI and American publishing and media company Forbes. The list contains 10 fugitives that Forbes, with the help of international law enforcement agencies, deems as the world's most wanted. The list was first published in April 2008. Subsequently, in August 2008 Forbes published a new list that focused solely on white-collar crime, World's 10 Most Wanted White-Collar Fugitives. There has been a new list as of May 2011, following the death of Osama bin Laden. Fugitives, 2014, Bradford Bishop, Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, Murder with a Blunt Instrument, Jason Derek Brown, Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, First-Degree Murder, Armed Robbery, Fidel Urbina, First-Degree Murder. Aggravated Kidnapping. Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, Aggravated Sexual Assault, Failure to Appear, Eduardo Ravello, Engaging in the Affairs of an Enterprise, through a pattern of racketeering activities. Conspiracy to conduct the affairs of an enterprise, through a pattern of racketeering activities. Conspiracy to launder monetary instruments. Robert William Fisher, Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, First-Degree Murder, Arson of an Occupied Structure, Alexis Flores, Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, Kidnapping, Murder, Glenn Stewart Godwin, Unlawful Flight to Avoid Confinement, Murder, Escape, Victor Manuel Jurina, Bank Robbery. Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, Armed Robbery. Theft from Interstate Shipment, Jose Copyright Manuel Garca Guevara, Unlawful Flight to Avoid Prosecution, Second-Degree Murder, Aggravated Rape, Aggravated Burglary, Seaman Morjalevic, Fraud by Wire. RICO Conspiracy. Mail Fraud. Money Laundering Conspiracy. Money Laundering. Aiding and Abetting. Securities Fraud. Filing false registration with the SEC. False filings with the SEC. Falsification of books, 2011, Joaquin Archivaldo Guzmán en Loera, Mexican drug lord, leader of the Sinaloa cartel, Ayman al-Zawahiri, Egyptian, new leader of al-Qaeda, after Osama bin Laden's death, Dawood Ibrahim, Indian leader of D Company, Seaman Morjalevic, Ukrainian-Hungarian-Russian-Israeli, influential Russian mobster, based in Moscow, Nasir al-Wuhaishi, Yemeni al-Qaeda leader, Matteo Messina Denaro, Italian Cosa Nostra kingpin, Alimzhan Tokhtakhinov, Uzbekistani organized crime figure, FAR copyright Lycian Kabuga, Rwandan implicated in organizing and funding the 1994 Rwandan genocide, Joseph Kony, Ugandan leader of the Lord's Resistance Army, Dr. Umarov, Chechen Islamist terrorist. Militant in Russia, 2008, Osama bin Laden, Joaquin Guzmán en Loera, Alimzhan Tokhtakhinov, Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar, Matteo Messina Denaro, FAR copyright Lycian Kabuga, Pedro Antonio Marin, Joseph Kony, James Whitey Bulger, Omid Tahvili, White-Collar Fugitives, 2008, Jacob Kobe Alexander, Israeli-American. Wanted by U.S. for securities fraud, currently in Namibia. Guyt Ferran, Saudi. Wanted for involvement in BCCI scandal. Li Shangxing, Chinese. Wanted by China for bribery and smuggling of goods up to $6 billion in value. Was residing in Canada until his extradition to China in July 2011. Gao Shan, Chinese, now in Canada. Wanted by the PRC for embezzlement. Thaksin Shinawatra, former Thai Prime Minister and businessman. Wanted in Thailand for abuse of authority over a $90 million loan. Tomo Razmilovic, Croatian. Wanted by U.S. for securities fraud. Jean-Claude Lecote, French. Wanted in Belgium for money laundering and suspicion of murder. Boris Berezovsky, Russian. Wanted by Russia for fraud and money laundering and was sentenced to 6 years in absentia for siphoning about $9 million from Russia's state airline Aeroflot. He lives in the UK where he was granted political asylum. James Eberhardt, American. Wanted by the U.S. for mail fraud and money laundering. Joseph Mercoul, American. Wanted by the U.S. for fraud. He is accused of running a Ponzi scheme, See also, America's Most Wanted, FBI 10 Most Wanted Fugitives, FBI Most Wanted Terrorists, Notes. References: The World's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives, 2008, The World's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives, 2011, The World's Most Wanted White-Collar Fugitives, 2008.